Good day, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs.net. Hopefully, if you are interested in what we got, if you can go over to the quantlabs/book, offer, opt in, get all the latest cool stuff that we've got on PDFs, Trade Like a Boss, and Secrets to Algo Trading, all free. All right, so I was hoping to get this live streamed on my Linux box, the Ubuntu, but it don't want to play with streaming, and it's a real pain in the ass to set up. So I'm going to work off of a browser, but here's what we're going to do. I'm looking at my database right now, live online for the trading bot for the minute by minute. I just wanted to run by you where we're currently at since midnight. The markets are very, very active right now. We've got up 8.5% or 8.58%, 54 positions on. Huge driver of BNB Ethereum. We've talked about that. It's just that's probably the number one cryptocurrency pair out there right now for anyone in crypto. It's just been an awesome run up since the beginning of the year. So that's hint number one. I'm going to give you a lot of juicy stuff here. We're going to talk about, that's for the minute by minute strategy. Again, it's up 8.58. We've got 54 positions put on and 94.54% winning ratio. That is absolutely mind-numbingly good. So the last number of weeks, I've been tracking how the Oanda for forex has been doing, how the CFD's been doing, and of course the older crypto strategy. I may talk about this tonight at 7 p.m. in the next few hours, but right now I just wanted to go over what's on the watch list for the FX, CFD, and crypto. So I'll go in the order of FX and crypto. So right now we have 5 pairs in the order of the following. Now usually I'm not going to look at anything that's either Turkish lira or South African rand. They're just too volatile and highly unpredictable. But we can look at all the other currency pairs that we have, courtesy of what's currently on the watch list. This is live, okay? This is not part of the quant analytics. So if you want to get access to the quant analytics, I'll be featuring this more and more now. If you come over to the store, you look for the quant analytics choice, you'll be presented with a monthly option, an annual option, or a 7 or a 3 month option, okay? These two, the 7 month or the 3 month, are non-renewable. They do not automatically renew, so you have to come back if you enjoy this service and it works for you. Over the last few weeks, people have been asking for software for the trading bot. As you know, I don't give the bot. If you want to trade out your own bots, I give you 2 versions of a Python course that I've got. I've talked about that. So we're not going to do that. This is for non-programmers. So let's talk about the live FX right now. So we got, as I said, 5 pairs, really 4 pairs. They are in the order of the following, returns over the last hour. New Zealand, CHF. So right now, if you are on the podcast and you're listening to this, this is March 11th, 3:50 p.m. So we're probably going to start opening up all the sessions for Asia, Australia, and specifically New Zealand, because New Zealand is going to be the first one to open up. So you're going to start seeing the volumes push into New Zealand. I will tell you, I have seen a lot of defense plays. The markets have been up today. Let me just go through that and just do a rundown for anybody on March 11th here. So I go over to the session here on Yahoo Finance. We've got a good run up of 1.45% on the S&P 500, 0.79 on the Dow 50, NASDAQ up 1.97. Russell at, geez, man, this stuff is really bad. I don't know. I'm losing confidence in a lot of online stuff. So let me go back over this. So clearly the winners here. Gold is down 0.47. Silver is down Silver's down 0.22 because those are defense plays. Because when the markets are up, you can bet dollars to donuts that the safe havens will drop. Crude is up 1.25. 10-year bond, this is the weird one, 0.69. VIX we don't really talk about, but that's down. The pairs, 0.97. It's up for British pound and US dollar. USD against the yen, 0.132. Bitcoin is down 1.5%. And then we get into the indices here. The FTSE 100 up 0.37. And then the Nikkei, as we lead into it, 0.47. So that's the one to watch when we hit the CFD. So those are right now the current movers for the day, last trading session. So today, right now, we have the British pound. Right now we have four pairs. We have these are the order: New Zealand against the Swiss franc, New Zealand against the Canadian, British pound against the Swiss franc, and British pound against the Polish Zloty. So I'm not sure what's driving the New Zealand. I've not done any Bloomberg analysis yet. I've done it on Friday, but there's something they're driving in the New Zealand. And then I do know about the news going out of Brexit, where the British pound is moving up. Funny thing, when you look at the US dollar here, it is not used a lot as much as it used to be. It's not a dominant currency as much as I've seen over the last few weeks. But what I'm going to do is we have a watch list I just told you, live again. Let me just update it. Still the same, and it will remove the volatile pairs. And again, I will not go through the Rand or the Turkish lira. It's just too wild. So what I do is I want to convince myself this is working. So what I'll do is when this pricing does go live for the forex and CFD, it will be trading only on hourly at the lowest. So it's not going to be anything lower than that. So now we have here at tradingview.com to confirm buying signals. And these are buying signals on daily. So I'm going to put the first one in here on the New Zealand CHF, on the Swiss franc. And again, we're using Oanda here as a data source on TradingView. And what we need to do is to confirm, is it a buying signal or not? So we're going to use four pairs to verify if this service is going to be accurate. I did it yesterday, worked pretty good. So today, again, live on Monday, 3:54 my time, same as New York. So there you go. We have a strong buy on the New Zealand Swiss franc. There you go. It is moving up. Next one up. Let's just bang these puppies out. So we got the New Zealand Canadian dollar. And again, we want Oanda. So we're going to do this 4 times for these currency pairs. I will say that I don't know why, but people still want to trade forex. I just boggles my mind when you have to add in like big leverage to get some decent returns. So here we are waiting for the signals to update here on TradingView. Looks like it. No, yeah, we got another strong buy. There you go. So again, GBP against the British pound. So as you can tell, we're 2 for 4, which is really good, especially on a strong currents. Strong outlook for these 4 pairs. So again, we are looking at the British pound against the Swiss franc. Waiting for the update. We're on tradingview.com. Okay, here it comes. So this is for the last day or so. And all we care about is, so we're at a buy signal, and that's 3 out of 4. That's pretty good. So now, last one we're going to look at is the British pound against the Polish Zloty. If I get the pronunciation right. My grandfather was Polish, believe it or not. So off we go. Waiting for the update. What do we got coming up? Oh, even if it's 3 out of 4, I'll be happy. But if we get 4 out of 4, I'm going to be putting this pricing live as soon as possible. Come on. 4 out of 4, folks. We have 4 out of 4. There we go. It's somewhat volatile, but let's even look at the 1-day intraday. Look at that return. Bingo. Booba Buddha being, and it's coming off, but if we were trading that as of that low there at 917 this morning, we would be making dollars. Not a lot, but that's what we look for. And again, we're not putting on any form of leverage. Okay, so let's go over to what I call the old strategy for crypto. Now, one place you can go if you are really new to all this, go to coinmarketcap.com, and that will give you kind of like, there is a way to look at the hourly moves. But even on the 24-hour basis, you can see the strong negative moves we've got right now. Now, I'm going to give you from my system here on the database on the asset movers. Okay, so right now we're kind of maybe hitting a bottom. Everything kind of works together, but of course it's driven by Bitcoin. So this is the order we have. These are from Coinbase, sorry. So we've got 5 pairs here measured against the US dollar fiat currency. So we have Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin, and then Ethereum as well. So usually based upon the volume for each of these, Bitcoin is usually going to be the main driver. When it is positive, usually the whole space will move. So you may start to see this, and I believe that when I checked this morning, we did not have a lot of activity. But it has woken up, and even though the figures I'm going to give you will give you a mediocre risk on for cryptocurrencies using these. So we're going to look at some of these right now. So right now, Bitcoin Cash, and again, hourly moves, all 5 I'm going to mention are against US dollar. So the first one is Bitcoin Cash down 0.11. Litecoin, which has usually been probably the second best one to trade this year since the beginning, that's down 0.12. And then Ethereum Classic, these are the positive ones. These are the profitable ones right now. 0.23, Bitcoin up 0.29, and Ethereum at 0.39. So again, these are your hourly movers. So we are starting to see some activity here. So the question is, what does our watch list look like for the old crypto strategy? The only one, strangely enough, that we have right now on as a watch list on the old strategy is Zcash against Ethereum. Every time I check this, I always get Zcash against Ethereum on this watch list. So the question is, do I start to ignore this? Because I don't know if there's any predictability with this thing. But I did check a pile yesterday, and all of them, there was at least 12, all of them were buy signals, no different than the process I'm showing right now. So you can see you got the Zcash is, against Ethereum, is a sell signal. Not a good thing, so this is not a predictable mover. Okay, so let's just do one last check and check on our movers for CFDs. So these are the CFDs that are the best movers, taking out all the volatility. So right now, as the markets have come off for the US, what we have here are the following 4, and we're going to check the buy signal. Again, this is using Oanda. For the recommendation for these, if they don't have a lot of volatility, which they usually don't, you probably want to trade this either on an hourly at best or maybe a 4-hour basis, because the volatility is not that good. So here we are on the IN50, always making sure we're picking off the CFD Oanda here. So we don't want the index itself, because that's where it gets kind of confusing. So you can see here, this has been a decent performer since the last few days. And China a few weeks ago was doing really well. So you can see here, it's doing really well. So it looks like we don't have our technical set up for the signals, but we can definitely do that. No, so there's virtually very little volume here to give any form of signals. So is that something worth trading? I can't say, but it is moving up. So let's check out the next one we have on this list. Again, all in US dollars is Brent crude oil. So let me just make sure we got our Oanda here. So Oanda, you can see it's moved up once again. We're just waiting for the chart update on TradingView here. Just for those on the podcast, you will be able to get the video on YouTube or the Facebook stream on the Quant Labs Net page. You can see here it's been fairly quiet. Again, is there signals? BCO, Brent crude oil, not enough volume here to even get signals. So I can easily filter these out if I don't get signals, because that means there's not enough volume to even bother trading it on Oanda. But here we have XAG and USD. Let me just see why that's not getting updated. Oh, here we go. So we are looking for CFD silver, XAG, USD. Let's see if we have some technicals. If you go into the analytics, you'll be able to compare the volume of these CFDs against the forex to see if they are worth trading. There might not be a lot, but you can see here it is moving up. So again, I think we have another success here. And this is, for some reason, a safety trade. USB bond 30-year. USD, this is the T-bond. So let's check it out. And again, I do know there's not enough volume here for anything. Okay, so I don't know what to tell you there, but it has moved up. Okay, so while we're here, why don't we just check out the latest watch list for the minute-by-minute strategy. I want to talk about these because these are really important for people to really understand. Right now, let me just see if we can update the returns since I last told you. So I told you last it was 8.58% since we started the stream. I've done this before and it has made money while we do the stream. And what are we at now? So there's been no new positions at all, but I will tell you what the current watch list for this current strategy is. So what we're dealing with right now, okay, so it's the same logic as before. If you have certain pairs using Binance, certain pairs that are on the log for volatility to prevent whipsaws, there's a big pile of them. We're dealing with over 31 over the last 8 hours. So those will not get even looked at, not even be placed on the watch list. But these ones will. So the ones I'm about to tell you, I'm going to get the buying signal, and we will, I don't know, whatever the, I think it's daily move, a daily chart. So first one is Bitcoin Cash against Ethereum. Let's see how that looks. Again, we only want Binance. Certain exchanges or Binance does not get listed here. I don't know why, for Bitcoin Cash against Ethereum. So I'll pick off one of these. Let's say Bittrex. I've done a comparison on the discrepancies between the exchanges, and they can be quite a bit, but this is the best one to deal with right now. So that's a sell signal, so I'm going to assume that will be removed. Our next one is, actually, that's on a daily move. So let me figure out, go to technicals, and let me just see how it looks for like a 5-minute chart here on those signals. So right now, you can't even get the signals. Yeah, there's no technicals for Bitcoin Cash, so unfortunately I have to move on. So we have XMR against Ethereum, so this is Monero against Ethereum. So again, we want Binance. So let's see what this one looks like. So we do have technicals available to us, but again, this is a buy signal on a daily chart. So you can see it. Now, if you try to trade this and not trade it without the minute-by-minute signals, you most likely will get killed. Like you can see the volatility there on a daily time frame. Okay, even if I go into technicals here, I mean, I love trading Monero. I don't get a lot of them, but it's a fairly consistent. So we do have on the daily chart, we do have a buy signal, but let's say if we go to 5-minute, what will it tell us? What's a signal? It's still a buy, and on a minute, it's still a buy. Okay, so that's Monero. Let's check out the next one, a Dash and Ethereum. Using, once again, our Dash and Ethereum. Let's see what we got here. Dash and Ethereum. Boom, boom, boom. Come on, buddy. Okay. So again, it goes kind of flat, but there's always these pockets of, yeah, you can make some money. So it's a buy signal. And even if I go in under technicals here for, let's say, a 5-minute, still a buy. Still a buy. Even on a minute, it's still a buy. But no human can do this sort of trading with this kind of signal generation. It is just not possible. Okay, so let's go on to the next one, which I said before was the best one so far. You'll see this awesome run on BNB Binance Coin against Ethereum. You'll just see this. This is crazy. Do we have Binance? Yeah. So Binance is automatic. It's a Binance. Look at that. That's an amazing run. That has been. You know, when I get people questioning, is this what I put out, the signal's real? There's two charts I usually show. This one and the Litecoin. They usually shut up after this. And you can see right there, it's a strong buy. That's why it's the best coin to trade right now against Ethereum. You want to make money just by throwing money at something, this is the pair to do it. That is awesome. Now, when you break it down on a one-day chart, you can see those little bitty moves. Well, let's even break it down here into technicals. There are days where you don't want to trade this thing, but you could get killed. Right now, there's a lot of volume going into this thing because suddenly people discovered it. Whoop-de-doo. But this has been traded for the last 2 months by my strategy, and it just does amazing. In fact, when you go into coin market cap here, you can see here just on the volume, let me just go back here. On the volume here, hang on here. You can see here the top 10, but number 7 is Binance Coin, okay? All of these are just trading amazingly, but I will give you a hint. Actually, I'm really surprised that Tether is number 8 as well. Because I could, let me put it this way. I can trade BNB and Tether, but because they've added the volumes here of Tether and BNB, I'm starting to think maybe I should start adding those base coins and adding those markets. Let me finish up here and I'll exactly tell you what I mean. Okay, so you see the Binance. So now we have ZEC and Ethereum. Okay, so this is Zcash. Check this out. This is another one, a tough one to trade, without a doubt. But you can get pockets of doing very well, especially on bad crypto days. So right now it's not a good time to trade. But if we look at the technicals, you can see here, still a sell. Okay, so that's a daily chart. So let's check out the 5-minute. Now remember, my strategy is minute by minute. Even though on the daily, look at that. You got a strong buy on Zcash Ethereum right now, just on the 5-minute. 1 minute, let's see that. So now you can see it's a sell. So this is one of those volatile pairs. Let me see if I can pull up a chart. Markets. No, we want overview. So this is an interesting one. This is always on my older strategy. or bot, whatever you want to call it. You can see here it's had a nice run up, but if I go to a 5-day, it's been doing good, but it's been having these nasty dips. But if you always say buy the dip, this is the coin to do it. I mean, look at it. It crashes, wait it out using your, I don't know, your classic return. Look for the entry on the down, and boom, you can almost guarantee it'll go up. So we talk about that all the time, and I've talked about that in my Python course. That is very powerful stuff. So I've talked about Binance itself. Binance right now, exchange-wise, is just on fire. It's like, seriously, like you'd be a moron if you right now believe that you cannot make money in crypto. I think you really got to get your head checked. What you're dealing with here is you're dealing with two things. I've shown you the forex, and to get the same kind of returns you would get with crypto, you would have to get 10 times on average leverage, and as well you're going to pay some big fees, commission fees. But here with Binance, two things. What I've just shown you, there's no leverage needed for the big returns. So right now, my overall strategy, as I said, is up, 8.58%. Right now, we'll do it again. Now we're up to 9.11% because we've added a new position, once again, BNB, and now we've gone from 8.48 to 9.11%. So we're making money right now as we do this live stream. So coming back to this, for any person that sits there and says you cannot make money with crypto, should really have their heads checked or should be sent into the corner wearing their little dunce cap, because they're pure idiots. When you look at the volume just in the last 24 hours, 16%, so it's now trading just over $1 billion a day, and we are only using adjusted volume. When you factor in the so-called reported volume by some of these other exchanges, which inflate that, Binance has always been good to work with, and this is a serious player. And I've just shown you could make some serious money with cryptos. Now, if you're trying to do it the old-fashioned way, using as a human, forget it. If you're using a black box bot, you're going to get killed. I've just shown you why you will get killed. Right here, if you were just to try to trade this with a bot, good luck with that. I'm yet to hear back from anybody that's traded very successfully with a bot. With the volatility of the crypto markets. Yes, there are some good crypto pairs out there like BNB, Binance Coin, against, let's say, Aetherium or Litecoin, but those days can come and go. And what I do see is some newer crypto pairs that are bubbling under, we'll call it. So if I go to Binance.com, the exchange, what you'll find here is very critical. And again, I only see this through this strategy, this bot. So right now we can see here, and here's one thing I'll tell you what Binance does. If you're trying to trade off of these changes, maybe there might be a way to update this by hour. Usually they don't, because then it becomes too easy. So they will give you the 24-hour change, but with my system, I get access to the hourly changes, which I just gave you. Let me just see if the big pairs have changed at all. So I said that Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash were negative. So I'm just going to update the, so they're both negative. But when you come in here in these charts, there's a couple of things we need to look for. You always want to look for volume, because without volume, there's no trading opportunity. The other thing we need to look at is the volatility. So when you work in the world of, let's say, Binance as your option, you have all these 4 different markets. So going into BNB, you can clearly see that, let me just give you, so if you come under this alts, and you look at the volume for this newer one that's been added, and it's been very heavy, is Tron against XRP. So now they're using XRP as a base quote instead of the Aetherium. Majority of my profit is driven using Aetherium as the base quote. We can clearly see here the XRP is now being added, and there's the occasional trade. For instance, let me just see my current strategies right now. See, right now I don't see that pair as part of my options for. It's mostly BNB against Ethereum, but I see the odd Zcash, the odd XMR, and I do see the. Oh no, there you go. Just after midnight, there was a trade made with a TRX against XRP, but out of how many positions we got here? It's at 57 right now, so only one position right now was traded at a profit using this pair, Tron against XRP. So what is that? What am I trying to say? Even though this volume is definitely pretty strong, what you need to understand is that this is one of the newer pairs to watch for the next, we'll call it generation of pairs to trade. So there's always going to be opportunities in this. So as I said here, in the cryptocurrency space, asset class, and anybody that says you're not going to make money at it should have their head checked, because I'm showing you right now that, yeah, you can make money. Now, when you look at the volumes here of Bitcoin volumes here, which are very, very strong, like we're going into the millions, and I'd probably stop looking at right here after this pair here. Let me just clean up my desktop here so I can see what I'm seeing. So right now we would stop at, I'd say roughly right here. I don't know what the, but you know, you have maybe 10 potentials to trade. And then when you go back into the quote unquote alts market, don't ask me why, but the volumes are not as high. But there's quite a few tradable ones in here, as I mentioned. Now also, I did mention, well, I should look into the Tether, which is this one right here, USDT. That is Tether, but you can clearly see it's not in the millions compared to TRX, XRP. So the highest volume in Bitcoin in Tether, it's 1/10 the volume of Tron against XRP. These have to build to get my attention if my system's going to trade it, because I'm not going to waste the computer cycles to even look at Tether as a base quote. Because why? The volume's not there. As I said, the highest volume you get for this particular market is 1/10 the size of this TRX against XRP. But then when you look at Bitcoin, you know, you're comparing yourself against these guys. Same thing could be said here for BNB. So we have BitTorrent, which is now a legitimate coin in against Binance Coin or BNB. Maybe legitimate, but again, the volumes are not there even if you compare. So that's 218,000 per day right now, as it says, against, which is still double the closest in Tether, but then it's still maybe 1/5 the size of the TRX XRP. Anything outside of that, you're not gonna. There's no profitable opportunities there. Why? Because the volume's not there, the momentum's not there, and that adds volatility, which you don't want in your trading. So there you go. So I'm hoping that you understand what I'm trying to get at here is the pairs of what's out there and what you can trade. I'm hoping you'll see you on 7 p.m. On the Quant Labs Net page, 7 p.m. my time, to continue this conversation as well. And other than that, we shall talk to you soon. Have a good day.